August 15, 1945. The world held its breath as the crackling sound of radio static gave way to a voice no Japanese citizen had ever heard before. It was the voice of Emperor Hirohito, solemn, poetic, restrained. His speech didn't mention the word surrender directly, but there was no mistaking the message. Japan was laying down its arms. World War II had come to an end. But what the world didn't know was that this broadcast, this moment of peace, was nearly silenced by chaos. Behind the scenes, fanatical military officers tried to stop the surrender by force. This is the story of the night when the fate of Japan hung by a thread, and how a secret tape hidden in a laundry basket saved a nation from complete collapse. The war was lost. Hiroshima and Nagasaki had been annihilated by atomic bombs. Soviet forces were invading from the north. The Japanese mainland faced total destruction. On August 14, 1945, in the seclusion of the Imperial Palace, Emperor Hirohito made a decision that would shake the empire. Japan would accept the Allied terms of unconditional surrender. For the first time in history, the Japanese emperor would speak directly to his people. His words were carefully chosen, vague enough to preserve imperial dignity, yet clear enough to signal the end. The speech was recorded that night using phonograph discs. 2 identical copies were made and secured within the palace, meant to be broadcast the following day. But as the emperor's voice was committed to wax, a different plan was taking shape within the shadows of Tokyo. Many within the Imperial Japanese Army refused to accept surrender. They believed it was better to fight to the death than to bow to foreign powers. One of them was Major Kenji Hatanaka. Along with a handful of like-minded officers, he concocted a plan to stop the broadcast, detain high-ranking officials, and install a new government that would continue the war. They called it the Kyujo Incident. Late on the night of August 14th, Hatanaka and his men surrounded the Imperial Palace. They cut telephone lines, sealed off gates, and coerced key figures into cooperating. Their goal: locate and destroy the recording of the emperor's speech before it could be delivered to the radio station. The rebels ransacked the palace in search of the phonograph discs. Room by room they searched, rifling through drawers, overturning chests, interrogating staff. But the discs were gone. While the rebels tore through the palace, a small group of loyal courtiers worked under immense pressure to protect the recording. Yoshihiro Tokugawa, the emperor's chamberlain, and other staff members had already anticipated an uprising. They took the 2 recordings and concealed them in an ordinary-looking wicker laundry basket. Dressed as servants, they quietly slipped through the palace corridors, evading patrols. Every step was a gamble. If caught, they would have been executed on the spot. But luck or fate was on their side. Under the cover of early dawn, they made it to a secure room within the Tokyo Broadcasting Station. The discs were placed into trusted hands. The emperor's voice had escaped. When Hatanaka realized the recordings were missing, fury overtook him. His last chance had slipped through his fingers. Determined to stop the broadcast, he commandeered a bicycle and pedaled furiously through the quiet streets of Tokyo. His destination: the NHK Broadcasting Station. Upon arrival, he was turned away. The station had been secured by loyal military and civilian personnel. Defeated and humiliated, Hatanaka returned to the palace. As the sun began to rise on August 15, he and several of his co-conspirators took their own lives in front of the gates they had tried to control. It was over. At exactly noon, the Jewel voice broadcast echoed across Japan. Most citizens could hardly understand the classical court language, but the meaning was unmistakable. Japan had surrendered. Some wept. Others sat in stunned silence. For the first time, the people of Japan heard their divine emperor as a mortal man. That 4-minute broadcast ended a war that had taken the lives of tens of millions. But it could have been silenced. It could have vanished into the chaos of rebellion. Had the coup succeeded, the war may have continued. The Soviet Union may have invaded from the north, and Japan could have been carved in two, like Korea or Germany. Instead, a laundry basket, a handful of brave men, and a whisper of loyalty ensured the message was delivered. One voice saved a nation.